the Colorado Supreme Court put out a ruling, a 4-3 ruling, that Donald Trump engaged in insurrection on January 6th. And by engaging in insurrection on January 6th in the preceding events, he is no longer, according to the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment, he is no longer eligible to be president of the United States. Now, this is not the first state that has seen a case like this. Other states have seen cases like this, and they did not go forward, and they were not ruled in this way. So this shows Colorado breaking with other states, and it could be a harbinger of things to come, because this is not the only case that's like this. While this case was brought forward by Republicans in Colorado, and I do want to bring that up, it was brought forward by Republicans in Colorado, there's like 25, 26, or 27 other cases going on in other states where this could, you know, they could talk about, hey, he's no longer eligible to be on the ballot in the state. And in Colorado, in and of itself, it doesn't matter that much. Colorado hasn't been won by Republicans since the Iraq War. It hasn't been won by Republicans since 2004. It's gonna go for the Democrats. What I think is scarier for Trump is that it could delegitimize his run for office and give more energy to his opposition who is running against him in the primary right now, which he is treated as largely uncompetitive, because up to this point it has been largely uncompetitive. But we see Nikki Haley climbing up the ranks, gaining traction against him, not much on a national scale, but somewhat on a local scale. This is the third poll. This is the most recent poll. I've already seen two other polls, one by Fox, one by another poll. So this is the third one, showing Nikki Haley rapidly gaining on Trump. This one shows, I mean, the most gains. I mean, this shows her only 4 points away, and actually shows Christie gaining more traction than you would expect. But this is New Hampshire. This is New Hampshire, and New Hampshire Republicans are a different breed of Republicans than, say, I don't know, Texas Republicans. And so if it looks like he won't be a good candidate and he's not electable because he can't be put on the ballot, that could hyperdrive a campaign like Nikki Haley's. But it could also have the other effect, where it could have a rally around the flag effect, where Republicans say, hey, Trump's being challenged again in the courts. This is against democracy or whatever, ignoring, of course, Trump trying to challenge American democracy in the way he did. And then back him up. It's like a rally around the flag effect. So we don't know exactly what the effect's going to be. This will be reviewed probably again by the Supreme Court, and it could be overturned. Maybe it won't be overturned. But whatever happens, we can still see the reaction to it online. Whatever this history-breaking, never-done-before moment in American legal history is going to mean in the long run, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we can enjoy the reactions to it. The reactions from the MAGA crowd on the internet, which have been interesting to say the least. Let's just rapid fire through a bunch of them quick. Here's one we've already watched on stream before, but I liked it so much, just gotta watch it again.
Colorado Supreme Court bans Trump from their state's ballot. And now it goes to the Supreme Court for the final decision. Boy, I tell you what, they're treading on... Whoa. They better be fucking careful. Very careful. This could go very wrong very quickly. For the world, in fact.
For the world.
Because
the dictatorship in Eritrea, all the way to the government in South Africa, to Germany, everywhere, they're all on the edge of their seats thinking, by God, I hope Trump can qualify for the presidency. I don't know what I'll do if come on, dog. The world would find it to be a very funny end for Donald Trump. That's how the world would react. There'd be a few people, like Putin probably wouldn't be that happy. But on the large scale, the vast majority of their allies are not big fans of him. Hell, even Netanyahu's government doesn't like him because they have a personal spat.
For the most part, the majority of this planet wants Trump to be the next president. I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, everyone can agree on that. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that everyone in the planet was rooting for Donald Trump to be reelected. The polling data I saw when it came to America's credibility, to the world's view of Donald Trump, I mean, seems to reflect the exact opposite of that. But I had no clue. Ukrainians everywhere pray every night for President Trump to come save them.
And if the final decision turns out to be that Donald Trump can no longer run for president,
you know what I think this is the result of? I think this is legitimately the result of being hyper online, being in a bubble, and everybody he sees on TikTok, everybody he sees on his social media accounts, because of the accounts that he likes, because of the accounts he interacts with, which then social media will serve him up more of the content that he interacts with, because social media algorithms are designed to keep you on the platform as long as possible, no matter if it's healthy or if it's not healthy. And so by serving him up more content that agrees with him, which he constantly sees online, and of course I'm trying to read into this person here from a 1-minute clip, so take this with a grain of salt, but it wouldn't be hard for me to see this guy ending up here after seeing tons of posts on social media, not handcrafted, but AI crafted, algorithm crafted for him to agree with or get angry at to stay on the platform. That is not a good sample size of what the world thinks, especially if you're only consuming English speaking content, which, even though, you know, it's a global language, is not what the majority of the world speaks.
Not only will just some Americans be pissed off, but the whole fucking planet. You fucked up, Colorado.
Dude, they better get ready, man. The Taliban, the Ukrainian military, the Russian military, NATO, the Eritrean conscript army, the North Korean, South Korean, Japan, they're all going to get their force together, and they're going to march down in Colorado, and they're going to show them what's what and stand up for Donald Trump. Trump pride worldwide. Anyway, let's look at this big old thread gathered by chuds of TikTok of some of the best reactions that they could gather from the platform. The first one is from, their name is the Druid of Trumpism. What a beautiful name, the Druid of Trumpism. I'm more of a wizard guy myself. I like wizards and sorcerers. Druids are okay, you know, but you know, maybe I'm just too bougie when it comes to my types of magic. But let's listen.
Well, it looks like we not only got California, but we also...
One second, California. One second. Let me turn this up. The volume on this is awful. Hopefully this will work.
Well, it looks like we not only got California, but we also got Colorado. Colorado. Clearly a communist bunch of motherfuckers want to take people's right to vote away.
Is that what communism is? Communism is when they take your right to vote away. I didn't know that. My God, the Confederate Communist Army trying to stop the madness of black votes. I'm sorry, like, what is communism to people? I think in Trump's space, I think communism has just since communism as a word in the American political lexicon is used as an attack so constantly against anything that the right hates that anything that the right hates instantly becomes communist.
No, they're just as bad or worse than California, actually. But the lines are being drawn. I hope Florida and Texas go through with their promise to take Biden off the ballot.
I mean, communists are known for their deep love of the 14th Amendment and specifically clauses around treason against the United States.
Let's see who's on what side, and let's draw them lines. Let's go to war. Fuck it. There's no other answer to this shit.
No other answer. We all gotta die.
This shit has got to be completely wiped.
We all gotta die. We need some biblical Great Flood, Noah's Ark type stuff to clean stuff up. The only way the swamp will be killed is by drowning it. Got it. Okay.
Start over, go from the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, period. And if you violate that shit, you go to prison for life if you're a politician, period.
Well, how does that fix anything? We pass a law that says if you violate the Bill of Rights, you go to prison for life. That doesn't deal with issues with lobbying. That doesn't deal with there's so many issues of massive corruption. There's so many issues that are contributing to the problems we have in the United States today. They're not going to be addressed by just instituting firing squads.
There's no fucking ways around it. That's what happens. The bare minimum. I personally think they ought to hang the motherfuckers, but...
Wow. Who? Which motherfuckers? It's so imprecise.
I'm just sitting here waiting for that last straw to break the camel's back. It's
not... Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we'll see what that last straw is going to be. we'll see what that last straw is going to be. I mean, for some people, I do want to throw out there, well, this guy seems unserious. I don't think this druid's going to go out there and start casting, warlock spells on the people. But I do want to put out there that mentality of a straw to break the camel's back, of, we're going to do something eventually. If Trump ever is found guilty of a crime and sentenced to anything, there will be people. And I feel this, and I'm hoping it's not true, but there will be people, no matter the circumstances. It could be Trump being like, I'm going to sell this coke to children, and we can have it on film footage. There'll be some people who will call it deepfake or whatever it is, who will not buy it and are so deep in this rabbit hole, so deep in the conspiracy rabbit holes on the message boards or on social media chat groups or wherever it is, that I think are gonna they're gonna flip, and I'm really scared about that period between January 6th to January 2020 of 2024 if Joe Biden wins re-election. Of course, I'm worried about a Trump re-election as well, but I'm even worried about the fallout of a Biden re-election, which is not good. See, this is the problems that get caused when one side of a democracy cannot accept loss. Democracy doesn't work if either major party or any of the major parties just disregard the results of the election. Institutions survive on many things, but one of the things that the institutions need to survive is a level of trust in that institution, especially if it's the institution that the people use to enforce their power, enforce their will on those who make the laws and control the government. Anyway, next, let's go down the list.
Hey, if you were disgusted last night by Colorado, you haven't seen anything yet.
Commie Colorado.
Unfortunately. The left has thrown everything at this. They've done everything they possibly can. And Biden's numbers continue to plummet. So they're getting desperate. They're desperate. They're desperate as hell. They don't know what else to do. They can't really do another pandemic because then anybody who's still...
Wait, what does that mean? We we've got like 3 or 4 just kind of waiting. They're like albums that we're just sitting on whenever a good time to release, whenever the market's ripe for a new pandemic, Biden just hits the button. Oh my gosh, man. I hope next time it's not airborne. It's another like Ebola, like liquid style disease that people get specifically by tongue kissing. I hope next time they try to debut one of those.
Doesn't understand it was intentional at this point. God only knows why. They still don't know, but some of them still don't. They would certainly know then. So they can't really do
I think an Ebola remix wouldn't be bad.
that. So trust me, they're about to show you what desperate, weak people will do. And it's going to be ugly. You're about to see what a caged animal looks like. Head on a swivel.
What? A caged animal has its head on a swivel? Well, if it's already caged, it doesn't matter. Oh, that caged animal, it's looking around. Well, that doesn't really matter much, does it? If it's caged. Okay, next one. Few more MAGA reactions.
I don't even know how to do this video without being super pissed off. And I'm not even pissed off because it's Donald Trump. I don't know how I've done this a video.
Oh my God, this is loud. Okay, let me see if I can turn this down a bit. 1 second. Let me see if I can turn it down a sec. Oh my gosh, he is energetic. He's so passionate for Trump.
A few times now because the first couple times I beat up my phone. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I'm sorry. I know I beat up the phone a little bit too much. Listen, this is a problem because now what happens in Colorado? So everybody who was going to vote for Donald Trump has no choice now. Do you see how this is
He could just finish the article headline. You know, he could finish and read the rest of the article and see the case will be done again. And I mean, they could also nominate someone else. That's also, I love how for the Republican Party, it's for the strongest of Trump's base, the idea of even voting for another candidate is so horrific to them. That's something that might really fuck over Nikki Haley. Because I think Nikki Haley, when you go to a point by points, like what makes them more electable, Nikki Haley's more electable than Trump. She has so much less baggage. I think honestly, when it comes to the voters that needs to be won over, she's a better public speaker. I disagree with her policies like endlessly. And the only thing I slightly agree on is Ukraine, right? That would be the only positive of Nikki Haley getting the nomination. I also believe that she has at least some basic fundamental respect for the results of the election. I don't think she'll pull a Trump. So I guess that's another positive. But I mean, like, is it that horrific to even choose another option when Trump's base and Trump's movement has had so much impact on what they're saying their positions are publicly, to the point where Nikki Haley, which is considered the establishment candidate in this race, Nikki Haley is saying on the campaign stage that if Trump is convicted of a felony, she'll still vote for him. She's saying that on the debate stage to try to win over his voters. That's how much of an impact Trump will still have, even if he's not the nominee. But no, that's not good enough. That's not even an option. Can't even think about it. What are they going to do when it becomes a post-Trump Republican Party? Either because, he loses an election for the last time and the Republican Party gets fed up with him, or he dies, which, I mean, father time comes for all of us. What are these people going to do?
Does anybody see how this is a fucking problem? And to the liberals, Democrats, anybody in the middle, do you see how this is a fucking problem?
Did nobody think maybe running the guy with 9 separate ongoing 9 separate charges against him, 3 or 4 different cases, many of which continuing to gather more and more evidence, more people constantly flipping on him, maybe running him could come with some unexpected consequence, not even unexpected, but could come with some, consequences of being in that much legal trouble. Was that something that didn't ring in your head? Not something to think about? I mean, guys, remember when Hillary lost the election in 2016, one of the things that Hillary voters complained about, and I think has some legitimacy when it comes to affecting her outcome, is that a few weeks prior to Election Day, the Department of Justice reopened an investigation into her emails. And that type of that just investigation into wrongdoing was enough to have an impact on the polls before Election Day. Just opening up into it. And he has how many cases against him in the same time with how many people flipping against him? I don't remember anybody flipping against Hillary. There's a lot of people flipping against Trump, former staffers, people who worked for him, assistants, all sorts of people. And you ran with that guy with no backup plan? Come on.
Does anybody see how this is an issue? That they can literally take somebody, the only person that's leading right now, off the ballots for some bullshit blown out fucking reason, to make a...
Those stupid people thinking that we're a nation of laws. We're a nation of clout. I mean, I'm a really boring history nerd. I'm becoming more and more of a boring history nerd because I'm studying more and more history for my foreign policy stuff, mostly. And I'm studying a little bit of American Revolutionary War history because when I study so much foreign history, I always need to remind myself, I'm a Yankee. And I was reading about the Green Mountaineers, and I was listening to some old tunes, some old Green Mountaineer tunes with the people in Vermont and stuff, and listening to the music and slogans they have. And it's so much of we're a nation of laws. We will not have someone rule over us. We only hold ourselves accountable to our own fellow man and the laws that are enforced through the saber and sword, which we instituted. And I'm listening to this stuff, and I'm just like, holy shit. Oh my God. Law and order. The party of law and order. What have thy become? What have thy become?
Another person, another candidate, I wonder who, to win. After knowing that you are behind, Joe! You are behind! Over 70% of Americans do not approve of you! So...
It's not that high.
Oh, I'll get rid of Donald! Got it!
There's other people who are probably more electable against Joe Biden than Donald Trump. if anything, I would make the argument that there is a universe where if Donald Trump doesn't become the nominee, him not being the nominee is a blessing to the Republican Party for any number of reasons, but also for the reason of, oh my God, what immense baggage he has, and how hard is it going to be for him to win over moderate voters without having to tell everybody that the economy is on fire, which it currently, compared to the Trump economy, it is not. Woo! That's a good use of censorship. That was creative. I like that. Next one, few more MAGA reactions. Can a lawyer explain in under a minute Colorado banning Trump from the ballot? Yep. Okay, you're a lawyer. Let's hear this strong legal expertise. I like your Iron Maiden shirt. Let me look at his TikTok name quick. Real, trust me, I'm a lawyer. I have never trusted a lawyer less than one whose opening line, their name has to be trust me. Whatever. I mean, I am really important. You know, I'm a buddy with him.
Did Colorado just give the finger to at least 80 million Americans? Yep. Did Colorado just take away Trump's constitutional right to be innocent until proven guilty? Yep.
I don't think Colorado doesn't even have a designation over 80 million Americans. How people? Colorado population. Sounds like 5 million.
Colorado just use a Civil War era amendment to the Constitution, which was intended to prevent people from walking out of the Confederacy and walking into the halls of the Union government to stop anybody from having the opportunity to vote for Donald Trump. Yes, they did. Did Colorado just say—
Well, laws that are implemented for one reason can transform in what they're used for in the future. For example, I could see that insurrection clause being used against somebody who tries to overthrow the government for a cause completely unrelated to Confederacy, and it's still being useful for the government to keep the nation stable and to like discourage, basically separatists from taking over state institutions.
Set the stage for all kinds of civil unrest and quite possibly, the next Civil War? Yes, they did. Will the United States Supreme Court step in and strike this?
This is very lawyer talk.
Down, probably, and regardless of what the United States—
So it's going to start a civil war, but also it's going to be struck down.
Supreme Court does, we have now effectively and completely completed the split of this country.
I like how for a lot of the MAGA crowd, they have to balance like everything's horrible, everything's doomed, we're all gonna die. You need to balance that, which brings in more viewership, more money, and more people doom scrolling. And you got to balance it with we're winners, we're not losers, we're winners. And it's very difficult for a lot of content creators to balance that
into two pieces. Thank you, Colorado. I'm sure you're all too baked to realize what you've just done, but you—
Awesome, hell yeah, woo, hell yeah.
Pretty much signed the seal on the end of this nation. Oh.
The seal? Wait, again, it's going to start a civil war. It's going to be overturned. It's going to end the nation. So it's going to be overturned, but it's also going to destroy the country.
Comment below if you disagree with me.
Okay, well, I disagree. A few more MAGA reactions. Here's another one.
I just canceled our reservations for 2 weeks in Vail, Colorado. Not going to do it. Not going to do it ever again. Go somewhere else for this time. I hope you're going to join me and do the same. Let's just stay away from there. They don't need us. They don't want us. Stay away.
I don't think that was the message of the court decision. I think the message of the court decision was that they didn't want an insurrectionist to become president. By the way, again, there's a really good chance that this gets overturned. It was a 4-3 decision. There's other court cases that have been like this, that have not gone this way in the nation. There's a chance that other court cases go the other way, and then there's a shifting of momentum, which could cause some real trouble for the Trump campaign. But there's a chance in the long run, this is just going to become, and again, I'm not telling you which way it's going to happen, because anybody who can predict the future on this, when we're in such unprecedented territory, is lying to you. There's a chance Trump uses this as, oh, woe is me, I'm so prosecuted, give me money, fundraise for me. I mean, he's used stuff like this in the past to do it. Good chance he's going to try to do it again, whether or not it ends up being something that hurts him or helps him in the long run.
I never thought Democrats would get this desperate, but it's finally happened. Breaking news. Donald Trump has been banned from the ballot in Colorado in 2024. This is election interference at the highest level. And like usual, it will backfire. Not only will Trump carry the Republican Party in the primary, Colorado, mark my words, is going to be going red in...
Okay, wait. Okay, stop. Okay, let me not laugh too hard. So there's a few things I want to say. It is true that Trump has been taken off the ballot for the Republican primary. And this is another reason why I think that the court case might fail. The court case might fail if reviewed by the Supreme Court, not because Trump is an insurrectionist, not because, the 14th Amendment doesn't include the President of the United States, and when it comes to the insurrection clause, which some people have argued. Some people have made the argument that you can do insurrection as president, you just can't do it as any other position in government, but you can do it as president. It's a pretty wacky article, and it's based upon the fact that in the clause, it doesn't specifically say the president, but I don't think that was the intention by the authors, is to say nobody can be an insurrectionist except the president. I don't think that would make much sense. But when it comes to, one second, let me hear it again. I gotta hear it one more time.
Not only will Trump carry the Republican Party in the primary.
The primary, that is the deciding factor, because for some courts that have reviewed stuff like this in the past, they've said they haven't decided on all the insurrection, all that, or some of them even agreed that he is an insurrectionist, but they would say, this is a primary. This is not an official government election. We cannot control who a party that is not the government, the Republican Party, the Republican National Committee, the Democratic National Committee, these are not state institutions, they're party institutions, political parties, independent. How can they control who they nominate? How can the government come in and say, this is a primary, but we're going to tell you who you can and cannot nominate? And that argument, I think, actually makes sense. And the case failing because of that wouldn't be, it wouldn't be hard for me to understand. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm trying to explain these legal arguments to you to the best of my knowledge, but that makes a lot more sense to me. And I can understand why something like this might get knocked down just on something like that.
Colorado, mark my words, is going to be going red in 2024. That's how this works. You ban someone.
Oh, I'm sorry. And about Colorado going red in 2024. Colorado has not gone red in 20 years come 2024. And I'm not saying it's impossible. And I'm going to highlight some things that could cause something like that. Let's say all the economic indicators or all the people that was saying, predicting the economy, they said, hey, we're going to go into recession. We didn't. And that's really helped the Biden campaign. The Dow was hitting record numbers. While the economy is not doing everything I would want it to do, I'd want it to be cutting child poverty more. I'd want to see the child tax credit reintroduced. There's a bunch of things I want to see happen to help working class people benefit from economic success more, which I think is a real problem in this country. The economy is doing better than it was Trump pre-pandemic. I'm just throwing that out there. Job growth, we've gotten more jobs since pre-pandemic. The Dow has hit a higher number than pre-pandemic. Unemployment is lower than it was during the Trump administration at certain points. My point is, right now, if the economy was to take a spiral turn and was to go down in the future, Trump could make an argument, which many people do believe, which is Republicans are money managers. The economy under Trump was great and fantastic. Give it back to me. No matter what a debate you could have about him carrying on Obama era momentum, whatever it is, people will remember the 4 years under the Trump administration. They'll think back to the economic conditions. And if there's enough economic chaos, some of them might make the decision that he's a better economic manager. Even though I would disagree with them, I'd point to how he poorly handled the pandemic and how if he was to handle some sort of security, health, or other economic crisis, he's not somebody you can trust in a crisis. He's not somebody who's reliable on picking managers for the country, at picking, I don't want to call them the aristocratic elite, but picking his cabinet at the very least. Has extremely high turnover rate. He's not good at implementing policies. When it came time to pass over the reins to the Biden administration, they didn't even have a plan to distribute COVID vaccinations. So I would make an argument on an economic case, but I could see a situation where if the economy does spiral out of control due to something that could be within Biden's control, could be something outside of Biden's control, could be a recession of some sorts. If something like that was to happen, then I could see something like a scenario like Colorado going to Trump. Outside of that, Colorado is going to go blue. And it's not even considered really one of the swing states that people are debating, or like even, I think there's investment into it, but it's not one of the swing states that analysts are talking about.
From the ballot, the general public wonders why. They start to question you, they start to lose trust in you, and then they go the other way. Expect this to happen in 2024. Again, Donald Trump has now been banned in the state of Colorado from being on the ballot for the 2024 presidential election.
Again, the primary, not the primary, but we'll see. We'll see. It would have to be upheld in court first. Online 67, thank you so much for the primer. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well,
this one's long. This one's 2 minutes 14 seconds. I like that she has like a transition into her speech. She starts with a side profile, then leans in. She's building character. She has like character to her channel. There's an aesthetic going on. Car talk. Who doesn't like crazy conservatives in their cars? I'm hooked already.
Well, here we are. History is going to be repeating itself. I smell it.
You want to know how I know she's crazy? There's a bunch of numbers in her name. Indulged in 1776. Who would have 1776 in their name? Except for me, also on Twitter.
A civil war. And it's not like a hint of a scent of civil war.
Oh, civil war.
Is
right into it, huh?
Full on, at the front lines, coming to our door.
Whoa, it's at the front lines? Where's the front lines? Wow, I watched Deep State Map and Live Map for Ukraine. I didn't know there's a front line already. Oh boy, where do I sign up? Give me the piece of paper. Where am I going? Where am I headed?
When a state can vote to remove a candidate.
Okay, I don't like to go after people's physical attributes, but she got lizard eyes. And I'm just noticing it, man. Like, her eyes are creeping me out. Lizard eyes.
From a ballot, citing the reason is that this person was guilty, which he has been found to not have caused an insurrection, and he has not been through all the courts to be found guilty, then you know we're in trouble. Guilty until proven innocent. It's been happening.
There's a disagreement in the courts, and it'll go through more of the court system, and it'll go up the chain until they can find a final decision. This is something that could set a precedent. But I mean, you got to let the legal process play out, hear all the legal arguments, and have the Supreme Court review it. Again, it could be thrown out completely outside of the terms of, is he an insurrectionist? It could be thrown out because it's a primary. It could be thrown out for any number of reasons. But again, you got to let it go through the court system first before you make your doomsday profiteering off of civil war. I mean, come on, leave some of the market for Tim Pool.
Happening to a lot of American people for a while, just normal U.S. citizens.
Normal U.S.
But
citizens.
now it's happening to one of the greatest politicians.
One of the greatest.
See, they practice it on us, the U.S. citizen, the average Joe. And to see if...
Dude, did she actually have vampire teeth? I made a comment about her snake eyes, but it feels like she got vampire teeth too. Like her two, I mean, she just...
If we would let it go.
Kinda.
Sure enough, we let
like
it...
her carnivore. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Look, okay, let me stop. I don't like to go after people's physical appearance. I'm just saying snake eyes and vampire teeth. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is if the adrenochrome drinking stuff was real, this would be the first case I'd look into.
Enough of those go that they said, okay, now let's push the boot right up the ass. But there's still write-ins. You could still write it in. Although, we could still walk away from the party and create a caucus voting. There'll be no voting machines. It'll be a full-on caucus for your chosen candidate. And the one that wins the presidency. They want us to go back and repeat history. We can.
So wait, what they're going to do is they're going to say, we don't respect the formal election process. We're going to do a separate process, probably in somebody's fucking backyard. It'll be Michael Flynn, like the QAnon shaman in the Mises Caucus. And they're going to nominate Donald Trumpito, who is going to be Donald Trump, a sombrero with a mustache. And they're going to say he is eligible to be president. And then they're going to make like a rival government. What's the plan here? You're just going to nominate a fake president? Is that what they're going to do? Okay. I mean, he can still like attempt to run to president, but if he's not eligible for the highest office in the land, once this is all decided, then he's just not eligible. There's not really anything you can do unless you try to make a rival government. And then that's secession. That's like, yeah, I mean, that's the civil war she seeks. I guess that's the plan.
Do that with the caucus. But they don't want that. That's why they are trying their hardest to erase history. I believe this could be the straw that's broke the camel's back. Hold on, folks. Be prepared.
Be prepared, everyone.
I'm pretty certain Satan has more up his sleeve.
She'd know a lot about Satan, huh? Anyway, next one. What's this guy? What's he about? This is 2 minutes. This one is Philip Anderson, who was arrested in August over his role in January 6th. Here's claiming they'll install Trump through a civil war. These are one of those brave patriots that they're talking about all the time. All those political prisoners who totally didn't do violence. Totally didn't go crazy on J6.
Hey, Democrats, I just want to let you know, we don't give a fuck what you do. Trump is going in that White House. Now, we can do it the easy way or the hard way. You can put his name on the ballot, and we can vote, and you'll lose, and he goes in the White House. Or you can steal the election in front of the entire country, take Trump's name off all the ballots, and then we'll just force him into the White House. Because here's the thing,
this guy has FBI listening devices in every hole in his body. In every hole in his body, in every crevice of his home, and he has no clue. Anybody lighten up like this after J6? There is a van outside of his home at any moment ready to take his ass down to an undisclosed location in Langley, Virginia.
Going to live under your tyranny of lawfare, intimidation, political weaponization, political persecution, all the bullshit you've been doing. All this shit you've been doing at Trump with all these bullshit charges, bullshit cases. Here's what you need to understand.
Yeah, it's bully. I mean, why can't a president just take all the classified documents and just show random people? Why can't he? Huh? What, did he have to declassify it? What, is showing invasion plans to reporters not a smart thing to do? Is it not okay to lie to the National Archives and turn off your cameras and try to hide classified documents? So what? It's a little suspicious that intel on, the Russian interference in our elections disappeared at the end of the Trump presidency during the same time he was snatching documents. Yeah, it's a little suspicious. But he's Trump, baby. He's a little wild. He goes crazy on the Twitter, man. A little wild. Why can't he? Why can't he do it? Just let him do a little bit. Why can't he, usurp congressional authority and try to leverage aid to a foreign country outside of his power? Why can't he do that? It was just for information about his political power. Why can't he do? None of this should come with penalties. He's Trump. It's all just bullshit, man.
Understand, you can do that all day, but Trump is going in that White House. Trump is going in that fucking White House, whether you like it or not, okay? We got the votes. Damn. We're going to win. We can do it with the votes, or we can...
he didn't even have... They barely had the votes the first time. They still lost the popular vote, which Trump claims because of illegals. The second time, he didn't have the votes, either the popular vote or the Electoral College. Third time's the charm, but never once has Trump been popular with the majority of voters. So I don't know why you believe your chances are so sky high, impossible to defeat.
Do it by force. Either way, you're going to fucking lose. So just let us know exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it. Just let us know, all right? Because, guys... we are not going to live under your tyranny, Democrats. We're not.
Look, I'm going to tell you guys something. I was at one of the follow-up events after January 6th to commemorate the J6 political prisoners. And They had snipers on the Capitol steps. That we were like half a mile away from the Capitol. They had snipers and people with bulletproof shield, like batons, bulletproof shields everywhere. They were ready for the Russians to march over the hill. I'm just gonna throw out there that the element of surprise on January 6th has been a little lost.
Not living under your tyranny. We're not going to do it. We've been putting up with your bullshit and your persecution for a very long time, and we're done. That's the reason you're currently losing right now. That's why Trump is winning, because people see that your policies suck, that your guy Joe Biden is a dictator, a failed president, a piece of shit that's caused war, genocide, and destroyed this country. That's why he's losing.
Which war did Joe Biden cause? Which war did he cause? Because Russia invaded Ukraine, so I would say the Russians caused the war. Was it I would say, Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, then Israel started Operation Gaza, whether we were going to give them the okay or not. I mean, that was started by that. What war did he start? I could say he contributed to one bad side, or I could say he did this wrong thing. He didn't start any new wars.
You're not going to force him on us. That motherfucker's going...
You could say he continued certain military operations. You could say stuff like that. Like he's continuing our support for the SDF in northeastern Syria. He didn't start any new wars.
Out of the White House, you're kicking his ass out. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. All right? The choice is yours. The choice is yours. You're the one who's starting shit. So just letting you know, that's what you're going to be facing. There is no world in where you get to decide that we don't get to decide who we want for president. No.
But only they get to decide, not us. Not the rest of the country. Just them, and the people who agree with them.
It's either the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. Either way, you're going to lose. Have a good night.
Seems like a normal, sane, well-collected individual. Is this another video of him? Very seditious video of self-IDing. Philip Anderson was tear gassed later. No one can stop us. Not the military, not the police. We pushed right past him, broke down the gates. Oh man, he was proud of it. Dude, this guy, these are the people that they're gonna strap grenades to next time.
All right. Hi, I'm Philip Anderson. I want to give a warning to the world and to the entire country here in America. We can take back our country whenever we want.
I hope he isn't like one of their frontline like kamikaze troops. Like he's gonna be like in Battalion Ashley Babbitt or whatever. I hope he's more of a Baghdad Bob type of person. I think he'd be a funny Baghdad Bob.
We can take back the Capitol building whenever we want. We can take back all Washington, D.C. whenever we want. And the police can't stop us. It's true that we do back the blue, but they can't stop us. We pushed right past them. We got right into...
How do you both back the blue and then say we need to attack the police and also completely ignore their orders?
We moved the gates, we broke down the gates, we broke right into the Capitol building, we stormed it, we took over, and we ended the hoax. We ended the steal.
Ended the hoax.
I want the whole country to know that's been a...
See, okay, I do want to throw out there, this is the thing that I think, if somebody goes into the Capitol in order to stop the peaceful transition of power and keep Donald Trump in office, that is an insurrection. And the purpose of that is an insurrection. And so while I don't think every single person at the Capitol that day was an insurrectionist, like I saw people who were just kind of observing the whole thing, some people who just kind of like standing outside being like, yo, what's going on? This guy's an insurrectionist. This guy wanted and is expressing joy at the fact that he thinks he's accomplished stopping the peaceful transition of power from Donald Trump to Joe Biden, keeping Donald Trump in office for another 4 years, usurping the peaceful transfer of power, and, well, a democratic process. I mean, that's what he is intending to do. That is what he's saying he intended to do. And that's what he's saying he thinks he's achieved. And that's why he's so happy. Because now he thinks we won.
Game this entire year with BLM and Antifa. They're not a real threat. They're just throwing a little temper tantrum. We're the real power. And no one can stop us. Not the military.
I like how in 2 years since this, 2-3 years since this, he's still in the position that no one can stop us, even though people immediately stopped him after this and cleared them all out, and then they all got their ass beat in the middle of the night. by the cops. I saw the cops dealing with them in the middle of the night. They were pissed.
Not the police, not corrupt officials, no one. We can kick you out whenever we feel like it. We can take back the country whenever we feel like it. We are the people. Nothing will stop this. Give us justice, or else this is what you're going to have. And this is just the warm-up. I'm Philip Anderson. You can find me on Parler at Team Save America.
Wow, Parler. The best and brightest are.